Thoreau compared an unclouded sky to a meadow without flowers. Clouds obscure the sun. They bring rain and snow. They cover the world in a gray cloak. But without them, the pure blue sky of daylight becomes as uninteresting as a canvas without paint or a page without words. In 1803, an amateur meteorologist from England gave names to types of clouds. He said clouds come in three primary shapes: heaps of separate clouds with flat bottoms and bulbous tops, which he named cumulus, Latin for heap; layered clouds that formed a blanket-like covering, which he called stratus, layer; and wispy curling clouds which he named cirrus, fiber or hair-like. In addition, he gave the name nimbus, rainy, to those with heavy moisture. He combined terms to describe several other types of clouds. Thus, the towering anvil-topped cumulus that produced thunderstorms and heavy rain became cumulonimbus, and thin, wispy clouds that suspended in defined layers became cirrostratus. Clouds are essentially condensed water vapor, but it takes more than water to form them. Temperature is also important. Warm air can absorb more water than cold air, 5 times more at 80 degrees than at 32 degrees. You can see your breath on a winter day and not on a summer day, because in cold air, moisture condenses rapidly into visible clouds of droplets. Warm air saturated with water vapor rises, cooling as it goes, until it reaches a level where it can no longer hold the vapor. This height is where clouds are formed. Even air heavily saturated with moisture will not condense into clouds unless there are airborne particles for water molecules to cling to. Dust, pollen, plant spores, and smoke can all serve as condensation nuclei, usually smaller than the dust motes you can see drifting through a shaft of sunlight in a still room. In the atmosphere, when a high-flying aircraft passes overhead, a jet trail or contrail can form. It is an artificially induced cirrus cloud, water vapor ejected from the jet's engines condensing onto the stream of tiny particles left by the aircraft's exhaust. Jets typically fly at heights where the air temperature is about -70 degrees Fahrenheit. It takes only a small amount of moisture to saturate such cold air. If the air contains even a moderate amount of water vapor, a contrail will linger in the air for hours. If the air is dry, the contrail dissipates quickly. Lingering contrails tend to swell and drift until they look like strips of cirrus clouds. At sunset, they become as brilliant and colorful as any other cloud. Contrails can offer clues to upcoming weather. If a jet leaves no trail, or if the trail fades quickly, it is an indication of a relatively dry upper atmosphere, which suggests the weather will remain stable and fair. Long-lasting contrails stretching across the entire sky are evidence of high moisture content in the upper atmosphere and the approach of a warm front and subsequent precipitation. White clouds are composed of small water droplets that scatter the colors of sunlight. Uniformly scattered light distributes all the colors of the spectrum equally, which our eyes always see as the color white. Storm clouds and dense formations of stratus appear gray or black because water droplets within them are much larger than the droplets contained in fog or fair weather clouds and absorb more light, thus appearing a dark color.